Welcome to the power station fleet of Eskom, South Africa and surrounding countries' power supplier. Eskom has a total of 15 coal-fired power stations, 2 conventional hydroelectric power stations, 3 hydro pump storage schemes, and 4 non-dispatchable mini hydro stations. South Africa produced around 245,000 GWh of electricity in 2021. Most of this electricity is produced using coal and is consumed domestically. In 2022, 12,300 GWh were exported to Eswatini, Botswana, Mozambique, Lesotho, Namibia, Zambia, Zimbabwe, and other countries participating in the Southern African Power Pool. In 2022, South Africa imported 10,800 GWh from the Cahora Bassa hydroelectric power station in Mozambique via the 1,920 megawatts Cahora Bassa HDVC power transmission system. Most power stations in South Africa are owned and operated by the state-owned enterprise, Eskom. These plants account for 80% of all the electricity produced in South Africa and 45% of all electricity produced on the African continent. In terms of share of GDP in 2012, South Africa was the 4th largest investor in renewable power in the world after Uruguay, Mauritius, and Costa Rica. The following is a list of electricity generating facilities within South Africa that are larger than 1 megawatt capacity. It only contains currently operational facilities and facilities under construction. The net power output in megawatts is listed I. The maximum power the power station can deliver to the grid. For notable facilities that are not operating or have been decommissioned, see list of decommissioned power stations in South Africa. South Africa is the 7th biggest coal producer in the world and has rich coal deposits concentrated in the northeast of the country, and as such the majority of South Africa's coal-fired plants are located in the Mpumalanga province. Around 81% of South Africa's energy needs are directly derived from coal, and 81% of all coal consumed domestically goes towards electricity production. 10. Historically, this has given South Africa access to cheap electricity, but it is also one of the leading reasons that the country is in the top 20 list of carbon dioxide emitting countries. Arnot Power Station construction of Arnot started in 1968. This generation unit went online in 1971 and the station was fully operational by 1975. Between 1992 and 1997, 3 of its units were mothballed due to Eskom's surplus generating capacity, but they were brought back online in January 1997, November 1997, and December 1998, respectively. The cooling towers were constructed using a unique convex slip-form process by the contractor Concor. Power generation was originally by 6 350 megawatts units, with a total installed capacity of 2,100 megawatts. Turbine maximum continuous rating is 35. 60% unit ratings now given as 1 by 370 megawatts, 1 by 390 megawatts, 2 by 396 megawatts, 2 by 400 megawatts for a total of 2,352 megawatts installed capacity and 2,232 megawatts nominal capacity. In addition to feeding the South African grid, Arnot, along with Camden Power Station, also feeds the Mosul aluminium smelter in Mozambique via 400 kV transmission lines. Mosul consumes around 950 megawatts. Arnot has twice been awarded NOSCAR status by the National Occupational Safety Association. Number 2. Camden Power Station. Camden was commissioned in 1967. Between 1990 and 2006 the station was mothballed, but South Africa's energy crisis in the early 21st century prompted Eskom to recommission the station, starting with Unit 6 in July 2005 and completing with Unit 1 in July 2008. Power generation. Power is generated by 8 200 megawatts units, with a total installed capacity on 1,600 megawatts. Coal energy to electrical energy conversion efficiency is 33.40% in the integrated results for 2015. Nominal capacity is listed as 1,481 megawatts with gross capacity of 1,561 megawatts, 3 by 200 megawatts, 1 by 196 megawatts, 2 by 195 megawatts, 1 by 190 megawatts, 1 by 185 megawatts. The 4 chimneys of Camden Power Station are 152. 4 meters 500 feet tall. Power distribution. In addition to feeding the South African grid, Camden, along with Arnot Power Station, also feeds the Mosul aluminium smelter in Mozambique via 400 kV transmission lines. Mosul consumes around 950 megawatts. Crime. In November 2022, Eskom reported multiple arrests at Camden Power Station, which were linked to sabotage, coal theft, and coal fraud. A contractor, intending to land additional maintenance and repair jobs, intentionally drained oil from an oil burner bearing, which caused the burners to trip repeatedly. Truck drivers were also arrested for their possession of substandard coal mixed with worthless material or stolen coal, which was to be delivered to Eskom. Mid-December 2022, at the request of the Minister of Public Enterprises, Pravin Gordhan, and President Cyril Ramaphosa, Minister of Defense Thandi Modis deployed a small contingent of SANDF troops at the station, besides Majuba, Grootvlei, and Tutuka, due to a growing threat of sabotage, theft, vandalism, and corruption. Number 3. Diva Power Station. Construction of Diva Power Station started in November 1975, and the last unit came into operation in 1984. In 1993, Diva became the first power station in the world to be retrofitted with pulse jet fabric filter plants on 3 of its 6 units. These plants contribute largely to the reduction of air pollution by removing 99% of the fly ash, which otherwise would be released into the air through the station's chimneys. On January 8, 2003, Unit 2 generator exploded while being returned to service after a malfunction. On February 9, 2011, another unit failed catastrophically while performing overspeed testing. The units are overspeed rated at 3,600 RPM, and the last recorded speed before failure was 4,250 RPM. It was the first power station in South Africa to have a black power station manager, Ehud Macha. Power generation. The station consists of 600 megawatts units with a total installed capacity of 3,600 megawatts operating with a turbine efficiency of 37. The station is a twin sister to Tutuka Power Station corruption allegations. Edit. In April 2017, General Electric filed a court application accusing Eskom of rigging the tender to install a new boiler at the station so that Domfon Electric would get the contract even though their bid was $1,076 million, more than the General Electric bid. Number 4. Grootvlei Power Station. Grootvlei Power Station is a coal-fired power station located in Grootvlei, Mpumalanga, South Africa. The first of Grootvlei's 6 units was commissioned in 1969. In 1989, 3 units were mothballed, and in 1990, the other 3 followed. Due to the power crisis being experienced in South Africa, Eskom decided to return the station to service. By 2008, 3 of Grootvlei's units were back online, providing 585 megawatts to the national grid. Grootvlei's units 5 and 6 were the first test facilities for dry cooling in South Africa. Unit 6 has an indirect dry cooling system. On July 22, 2022, Unit 2 suffered a fire caused by a leaking fuel oil supply/return pipeline. Power generation. The station consists of 6 200 megawatts, 270,000 horsepower, units for a total installed capacity of 1,200 megawatts, 1,600,000 horsepower. The design efficiency at the rated turbine maximum continuous rating is 90%. Crime. In mid-December 2022, at the request of the Minister of Public Enterprises, Pravin Gordhan, and President Cyril Ramaphosa, Minister of Defense Thandi Modis deployed a small contingent of SANDF troops at the station, besides at Camden, Majuba, and Tutuka, to curb growing threats of sabotage, theft, vandalism, and corruption. Number 5. Hendrina Power Station. Hendrina Power Station in Mpumalanga, South Africa, is one of South Africa's oldest operating power stations history. Hendrina Power Station came into operation between June 1970 and December 1976. Between 1995 and 1997, half of Hendrina's 10 units were refurbished, and the other half between 1999 and 2001. Power generation. The coal-burning station contains 10 AEG Canis 200 megawatts units with a total installed capacity on 2,000 megawatts. Design efficiency at turbine MCR maximum continuous rating is 20%. Hendrina, which is the only 10-unit power generating station in South Africa, is the world's largest AEG Canis turbine installation. Number 6. Kendal Power Station. Kendal Power Station is a coal-fired power station in Mpumalanga, South Africa. It is sited in a coal mining area. One of its sources is AMFC's coal mine at Vlakfontein, near Ogies. History. Design. Kendal was built between 1982 and 1993. The first unit went online in 1988. On completion in 1993, it became the world's largest indirect dry-cooled power station. The total station water consumption of a dry-cooled system does not exceed 0.2 lkWh, compared with the 2.5 lkWh consumed by wet-cooled systems. Evaporation losses in wet-cooled systems account for approximately 80% of the water requirements of a conventional wet-cooled power station. Kendal is fired with coal mined in the Bombardier-Cologne coalfield. Twin overland conveyors transport the coal from the mine through the stockyard into the coal bunkers. For each unit, there is one cooling water system, including the cooling tower with its tuber bundle heat exchangers, 3 circulating pumps, units 4 to 6, 2 circulating pumps, 1 hot and 1 cold duct, and a condenser. The circulating water cools the condensate in the condenser. The boilers are of the controlled circulation subcritical design, with coal-fired radiant furnaces and reheating. Kendal's turbines are of the tandem compound reaction type. The 2 chimneys are 275 m high structure, each having 3 internal brick flues, and their foundations rest on weathered bushveld granite. With a height of 165 m and a base diameter of 165 m each, the cooling towers are the largest in the world. Each shell required 16,800 cubic meters of concrete and 170 tons of reinforced steel to construct. Kendal is currently the 22nd largest coal-fired power station in the world and largest power station of any kind in Africa. Power generation. Power generation is done by 686 megawatts units for a total installed capacity of 4,116 megawatts. Design efficiency at rated turbine MCR, 35. 30% environmental problems. In 2009, Kendal was the 10th most polluting power plant in the world. Following a period of non-compliance of all 6 generation units at Kendal in 2018 and 2019, the Department of Environment, Forestry and Fishery issued a compliance notice to Eskom on December 10, 2019, compelling operation of 2 units to cease and ordered corrective measures to be undertaken in compliance with the Kendal's Atmospheric Emissions License, AEL. On November 27, 2020, Eskom was served with a summons for supplying misleading information to an air quality officer. This followed an internal investigation and report prepared by Eskom Audit and Forensic, ANF, into air quality compliance and reporting, initiated by Eskom CEO Andre de Ruyter on May 17, 2020, following investigations and articles by Business Intelligence on these matters. Number 7. Komati Power Station. Komati Power Station is a coal-fired power plant operated by Eskom. Its 300-meter-tall chimney was built in 1979 and is one of the tallest structures in the country. Komati is one of power stations with a common steam range, meaning that its 9 boilers jointly feed the 9 generators. Other stations are Tutuka Power Station and Matimba Power Station. History. The first unit was commissioned in 1961 and the last in 1966. In 1988, 3 units at Komati were mothballed. 1 was kept in reserve, and the other 5 were only operated during peak hours. In 1990, the complete station was mothballed until 2008, when the Unit 9 was the first to be recommissioned under Eskom's Return to Service project. The full station was put online in 2011. It was finally decommissioned on October 31, 2022. The decommissioning was supported by the World Bank as part of the Eskom Just Energy Transition Project, alongside a package of international support for decarbonization in South Africa, known as the South Africa Just Energy Transition Investment Plan. Power generation. Edit. The station consists of a total of 9 units having 5 100 megawatts units on the east, 1 to 5, and 4 125 megawatts units on the west, 6 to 9, with a total installed capacity of 1,000 megawatts. Turbine maximum continuous rating is 30.0%. Number 8. Kriel Power Station. Kriel Power Station in Mpumalanga, South Africa, is a coal-fired power plant operated by Eskom. It is located about 4 kilometers from Matla Power Station, just outside the town of Kriel, Emalani local municipality, Mpumalanga. In contrast with most other Eskom power stations, the turbine generators at Kriel are each housed in a separate building rather than the more common single turbine hall. When Kriel was completed in 1979, it was the largest coal-fired power station in the Southern Hemisphere. It was also one of the first stations to be supplied with coal from a fully mechanized coal mine. History. On July 25, 2022, the entire power station tripped. Eskom said the first fault caused Units 1, 2, and 3 of the power station to trip, while the second fault tripped Units 4 and 5. Unit 6 was already offline. Power generation. The station has 6 500 megawatts units for a total installed capacity of 3,000 megawatts, with turbine maximum continuous rating at 90%. Number 9. Kuzal Power Station. Kuzal Power Station, previously known as Project Bravo, in South Africa is a coal-fired power plant by state electricity utility Eskom in Mpumalanga. The station consists of 6 generating units with an eventual nameplate capacity of 800 megawatts each, bringing the total installed capacity of 4,800 megawatts. As of 2023, only 5 units are in operation. Location. Located about 15 kilometers north of the existing Kendal Power Station near Witbank, Mpumalanga. Concept. Kuzal Power Station is designed to consist of 6 800-megawatt coal-fired generating units for a total generating capacity of 4,800 megawatts. In 2023, the realistic sustainable output per unit was, however, projected to be some 350 megawatt. As of December 2023, Unit 5 was synchronized to the national grid. Following a 6-month period of testing and optimization, the unit's output will be commercially commissioned and bring total station output to 4,000 megawatts. Kuzal would be the first coal power station in Eskom's fleet to be fitted with flue gas desulfurization technology. Project engineer. Black & Veatch was appointed as the project engineer for construction. Main equipment suppliers. Edit. Alstom provided the steam turbines, whilst Hitachi would provide the supercritical boilers. Coal supply. The power utility, Eskom, stated that it will obtain most of the coal required for this power station from Anglo Coal's new Largo operations, southeast of the Kuzal Power Station. Eskom's consultants estimate that 35 new coal mines will be required to support the Medupi and Kuzal plants. Construction timeline. Construction started in August 2008. Months after the first of South Africa's rolling blackouts in January 2008. Initially expected to take 6 years to complete, the project completed Unit 1 until 2017, approximately 8 years after initial works began, and the entire project not until 2021. June 5, 2007. Department of Environmental Affairs and Tourism issued a positive record of decision. February 2008. Hitachi Power Africa awarded the boiler contract worth R18.5 billion. February 2008. Alstom S.A. awarded the Turbine Island Works contract valued at R13 billion. April 14, 2011. Black & Veatch Corp. awarded approval for $805.6 million in financing from the U. Export-Import Bank. May 31, 2011. Export-Import Bank of the United States approves $805 million, R5.78 billion loan. October 2014, 300-ton 910 MVA generator step-up transformer placed on its foundation, assembled with all its auxiliary systems, and filled with 128,000 liters of mineral oil. All electrical integrity tests were performed successfully to confirm that the transformer was ready to receive power. March 10, 2017. Unit 1 achieves commercial power. July 7, 2017. Unit 2 was synchronized to the national grid. March 16, 2019. Unit 3 was synchronized to the national grid. October 30, 2020. Unit 2 reaches commercial operation. March 31, 2021. Unit 3 reaches commercial operation. December 23, 2021. Unit 4 connected to the national grid. Delays and defects. Deficient project management, corruption, labor disputes, vandalism, and absenteeism resulted in low operational efficiency and reliability, which periodically stalled the generation of electricity 15 years after its construction began. The dates for full commercial operation were shifted numerous times, mostly due to labor disputes. May 2011. 11 contractor vehicles, 7 offices, 2 large mobile cranes, and the west wing of the KCW office block were set alight, vehicles stoned, and offices and stores looted. February 2014, 1,400 employees were reported absent. August 10, 2018, a fire breaks out at the station amidst tensions with unions over pay increases causing damage. Technical issues such as boiler design, high temperatures that the spray water cooling system could not cope with, fabric filter plant, excessive wear of bags, resulting in blockages. Coal mills failed to meet operational requirements, which necessitated a doubling of servicing, flue ducts, and resultant damage to chimney. A wet flue gas desulfurization system between the boiler and chimney, intended to remove harmful sulfur dioxide from emissions at its first desulfurization stage, where non-functioning baghouse filters supposed to capture fly ash from emitted gases failed. This resulted in some of the silica-containing fly ash being carried along to the desulfurization unit. At that stage, hydrated lime sprayed through the emitted gases to chemically bind with the sulfur dioxide and create calcium sulfite was also mixed with the fly ash and subsequently entered the chimney. When combined with heat and fly ash, a hard crust formed along the inner exhausts of the chimney, which over time added too much weight for the structure to support, resulting in damage. The damage to the flue duct and chimney then rendered units 1, 2, and 3 inoperable. This resulted in Cusel and Medupi considered as some of the worst performing units in Eskom's fleet. In February 2019, Eskom GM for Group Technology Titus Made reported our $8 billion would be needed to fix design defects at Medupi and Cusel. Critics. The building of this power station attracted various criticism. Interference. Hitachi Power Africa, a subsidiary of Hitachi, Ltd., found by the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission to have made $6 million in corrupt payments to Chancellor House, a front company for the African National Congress, the ruling political party in South Africa. Hitachi agreed to pay $19 million to settle charges. Hitachi Power Africa rebranded as Mitsubishi Hitachi Power Systems Africa in February 2014. Cost. Cusel Power Station is estimated to cost our $118 billion to complete. This will bring the cost per unit to our $19.66 billion, $34 billion per generating unit, equaling our $26.96 M, $1.67 M per installed MW. Financial institution support. The following institutions were involved in supporting the project: African Development Bank, Development Bank of Southern Africa, Bank of America, Bank of Tokyo, Mitsubishi UFJ, now MUFG Bank, Barclays, BNP Paribas, Crédit Agricole,
a Crédit Industriel et Commercial,
Credit Suisse,
a Deutsche Bank,
First Rand, HSBC, a JP Morgan Chase, KfW, Ipex Bank, Natixis,
Nedbank,
a Rand Merchant Bank, Société Générale, Standard Bank, South Africa,
a Compagnie Française d'Assurance pour le Commerce Extérieur, COFAS,
Euler Hermes, Export, Import Bank of the United States, Public Investment Corporation, South Africa. Emissions. The plant is expected to emit 36.8 million tons of CO2, equivalent per year once completed. In November 2011, Greenpeace activists chained themselves to a gate and climbed a crane, a few weeks before the country hosted a global conference on climate change. Authorities arrested 9 people on charges of trespassing and malicious damage to property. The design of the station does allow for the installation of flue gas desulfurization technology, the first of its kind in South Africa. Inquiry. By 2018, the government's public enterprises minister Pravin Gordhan announced a forensic probe into delays and cost overruns on the completion of Cusel and Medupi control stations. Corruption controversy. In November 2019, South African investigative journalist Peter Lewis Myburgh published an article in the Daily Maverick detailing an alleged slush fund corruption scandal involving Eskom executives and at least 4 contractors. The scandal involved contracts worth a combined R10 billion, resulting in an estimated R75 million being lost due to irregular activities. By the time of the publication of Myburga's article, the construction of Kuzal was 5 years past its original completion date and an estimated R80 billion, equivalent to $4 billion, over budget. In December 2022, ABB was charged by the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, for violations of the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act, FCPA, in a bribery scheme, where it paid more than $37 million in bribes to a high-ranking Eskom official to influence a $160 million contract awarded by the state-owned electric utility company for work on Kuzal's cabling and installation work between 2014 and 2017. Number 10. Lethabo Power Station. Lethabo Power Station in the Free State, South Africa, is a large coal-fired power station owned and operated by Eskom. Power generation. The station is located between Vereeniging and Sasolburg in the Free State and consists of 618 megawatts units for a total installed capacity of 3,708 megawatts. Total efficiency at turbine maximum continuous rating is 37. 80% Lethabo burns coal with a calorific value of 15 to 16 mJ/kg and an ash content of 42%. It is the only power station in the world running on such low-grade coal. The Lethabo Power Station has approximately 1,100 employees. Technical details. 618 megawatts units, installed capacity, 3,708 megawatts, 2001 capacity, 3,558 megawatts, design efficiency at rated turbine MCR, percent 37, 80% ramp rate, 33% per hour, average availability over last 3 years, 93.5%, average production over last 3 years, 21,572 GWH. History. Construction of Lethabo started in 1980, and by December 1990, the station was fully operational. The station has been built on 11,000 concrete piles, which were sunk 25 meters deep. The reason being to alleviate the heaving clay problem after some 190,000 bluegum trees were removed during site clearing. At the time, it was the largest piling contract ever awarded to a South African contractor. Number 11. Majuba Power Station. Majuba Power Station between Volksrust and Amersfoort in Mpumalanga, South Africa, is a coal-fired power plant operated by Eskom. Majuba is Eskom's only power station that is not linked to a specific mine, and it receives its coal from various sources. This was due to an error in geotechnical engineering core drilling, which did not identify that the proposed local coal mine was under solid bedrock. History. Construction started in September 1983, and by April 1996, the first unit was connected to the grid. The last unit was commissioned in April 2001. Power generation. Majuba has 3 665 megawatts dry-cooled units and 3 716 megawatts wet-cooled units, with a total installed capacity of 4,110 megawatts, with a turbine maximum continuous rating of 35.3% on the dry-cooled turbines and 37.7% on the wet-cooled units. Underground coal gasification. In addition to coal, the Majuba Power Station is fired by syngas produced by underground coal gasification at the nearby Majuba Demonstration Facility on the Majuba coal field. The 3,000 to 5,000 cubic meters per hour, 110,000 to 180,000 CUFT/H pilot plant was commissioned in January 2007, and the first electricity was generated from the underground coal gasification gas on May 31, 2007. Produced syngas is transported from the facility to the power station by 7-kilometer, 4.3 miles, pipeline with a diameter of 600 millimeters, 24 in. There is a plan to build a 1,200 megawatts commercial generation facility. Silo collapse. On November 1, 2014, the plant was running under normal load when a visible crack was reported on Silo 20 by a member of the operating staff at approximately 12:30. Personnel in the area were subsequently evacuated. At 13:20, the silo collapsed, and the plant's output was immediately reduced from 3,600 megawatts to 1,800 megawatts. Shortly after, the output was reduced further to 600 megawatts.
Coal supplying.
Majuba requires 14 million tons, 14 kpa, of coal per annum, which were originally supposed to come from a colliery built and operated by Rand Mines, but that mine was decommissioned in 1993. An 8 kpa rail link branch from Palm Fort was commissioned and, by 1996, was sufficient for the power plant owing to the delayed construction schedule. From 2003, Eskom implemented a policy of procuring coal from new emerging sources, which resulted in delivery by road, since the location of the mines precluded their use of the Palm Fort line, despite the fact that it was sufficient for Majuba's needs. In early 2000, Majuba started increasing its coal consumption by 2 kpa to a target of 14 kpa by 2010, based on forecasts of electricity demand growth. To accommodate this, a 68 kilometers rail line from Amalo to Majuba was planned, which would link up to the heavy haul export rail line from Mpumalanga to Richards Bay. The project was approved by the Eskom board in December 2004 with a cost to completion of R1.5 billion. The project ran several years late and was expected to be completed by March 2021 at a cost to completion of R8 billion. In addition, in December 2019, a coal tippler takeout conveyor caught fire at Majuba, and since then all coal deliveries by rail had ceased. Crime mid-December 2022, at the request of the Minister of Public Enterprises, Pravin Gordhan, and President Cyril Ramaphosa, Minister of Defense Thandi Modis deployed a small contingent of SANDF troops at the station, besides at Camden, Grotvlei, and Tutuka, due to a growing threat of sabotage, theft, vandalism, and corruption. Number 12, Matimba Power Station. Matimba Power Station, close to Ellis Ras, Limpopo Province, South Africa, is a dry-cooled coal-fired power plant operated by Eskom. Power generation. The station consists of 665 megawatts units, with a total installed capacity of 3,990 megawatts. The turbine's maximum continuous rating is 60%. The power station was commissioned between 1988 and 1993. Matimba is the largest direct dry-cooled power station in the world. The use of dry cooling technology has considerably reduced water consumption at the plant relative to those using wet cooling systems. Matimba is fueled by the open-cast Grootegeluk coal mine on the Waterberg Coalfield 3, with about 14.6 million tons of coal a year via a conveyor system. The mine is also contracted to supply the new Medupi power station. Number 13. Matla Power Station. History. Construction started in 1974 and the last unit was commissioned in July 1983. In 1981, the southernmost smokestack, measuring 276 meters, 906 feet, in height, was demolished after it partially collapsed during construction, killing 4 workers. It held the world record for the tallest freestanding structure to be explosively demolished for 24 years until the 2006 demolition of the 300 meters, 980 feet, Westerholt Power Station chimney. The actual explosion was also used in a gag in Jamie Oos Funny People 2, where an electrician is instructed to do some wiring and is warned that improper connection will cause the stack to explode. Number 14. Medupi Power Station. Medupi Power Station is a dry-cooled coal-fired power station built by Eskom near Lefalale in Limpopo Province, South Africa. The station consists of 6 generating units with a nameplate capacity of 764 megawatts each, bringing the total installed capacity of 4,584 megawatts. Original concept. Medupi was conceived as Project Alpha in 2007, with only 3 units planned to total 2,292 megawatts and estimated cost of 32 billion rand. The design was changed at a late stage in 2007 and doubled in size to 4,584 megawatts. The boilers were envisaged to be supercritical in type, which would make them 38% more effective than other Eskom power stations. A dry-cooled system was also intended to use less water than other coal-fired power stations in the fleet. Initial project costing was estimated at 69 billion rand, but that was updated to approximately 80 billion rand by 2007. Parsons Brinkerhoff was appointed as the project engineer to oversee all construction. Power output.
Design.
The power station has 6 boilers, each powering 794 megawatts turbines, producing 4,584 megawatts in total. When completed, Medupi became the largest dry-cooled coal-fired power station in the World Awards. Medupi's GE Steam Power Systems was awarded a Global Project Excellence Gold Award at the 2016 IPMA Project Excellence Awards. Main equipment suppliers. Alstom provided the steam turbines, whilst Hitachi provided the supercritical boilers. Coal supply. Medupi is supplied with coal from Exero's Grootegeluk coal mine, located north of the site. Eskom placed a contract with Exero to supply 14.6 metric tons of coal per year for 40-year power generation. Construction timeline. Completion of the first 2 units was expected by 2012, but various delays impacted progress. The first 794 megawatts unit, number 6, was commissioned and handed over to Eskom Generation on August 23, 2015. Units 5 to 1 was completed at approximately 9-month intervals thereafter. July 18, 2008. First structural concrete poured. November 21, 2008. First 3 air-cooled condenser columns completed. August 2009. Unit 6 boiler lift shaft completed. February 9, 2010. First structural steel erected at Unit 6 boiler. August 12, 2010. Chimney South concrete slide completed to a height of 220 m. November 2010. Chimney North concrete slide completed to a height of 220 m. May 2011. Chimney South first flue cans lined with borosilicate glass installed. October 2011. Upgrade of D1675 access road completed. September 8, 2011. 10,000-ton coal silo completed. November 21, 2011. Auxiliary boiler completed. February 10, 2012. Direct current supplies energized. November 27, 2012. First 24-hour performance test of 5 for km overland coal conveyor. September 2013. Unit 4 generator motor threaded into stator. September 2013. Wet run of submerged scraper conveyor conducted, readying boilers for first fire. November 2014, overland ash conveyor commissioned. February 18, 2015, then Public Enterprises Minister Lynn Brown announced first unit, number 6 turbine was running at optimal speed of 3,000 revolutions per minute. February 22, 2016, number 5 turbine undergoes load testing. Commercial operation began on April 3, 2017. 2016, primary coal stockyard and conveyor commissioned. December 2016, Ngwidi substation transformer commissioned, part of Medupi Power Station Integration Project. November 28, 2017, Unit 4 was commissioned. June 6, 2018, announced that Unit 3 had entered commercial operation. October 9, 2018, announced that Unit 2 had been synchronized. By November 2019, this unit had reached full commercial operation. August 27, 2019, final unit achieved synchronization. Peripheral works such as overflow coal yards has an expected completion date of 2021. October 2020, no obligation request for information bid issued to gain insight into flue gas desulfurization, FGD, technologies currently available and to assess their potential suitability for deployment. July 31, 2021, Eskom announced that the plant had achieved commercial operation status. Related projects, bulk water. In order to meet the growing demand for power generation and mining activities in the Lefalale area, 2 main bulk raw water transfer systems were also required. This comprised a 4.5 megawatts pump station and 46 kilometers pipeline extracting from the Mokolo Dam. Phase 1 of this project was commissioned in 2015 transmission connection. 174 kilometers of high-voltage transmission lines was required from Medupi to the Barutho substation near Mokopane. Construction occurred between November 2015 till the end of 2017. Delays and defects. The dates for full commercial operation were shifted numerous times, mostly due to labor disputes such as, in September 2012, workers were sent home after vehicles and equipment were damaged. In July 2013, a group of about 1,000 workers turned violent, damaging vehicles. In July 2014, the National Union of Metal Workers halted work for weeks. In March 2015, an 8-week illegal strike escalated into violence, damage, and intimidation. Delays were also due to technical issues such as steam piping pressure, weld rechecks on the boilers, ash system blockage, and damages to mill crushers. Unit 4 generator explosion. On August 9, 2021, in the second week after Eskom announced that Medupi had attained commercial operation, Medupi Unit 4 was extensively damaged in a hydrogen explosion which caused a loss of 700 megawatts in generating capacity. The cost of repair was estimated at up to 2 billion rand, or up to 40 billion rand. Cost escalation. The initial expected cost of 80 billion rand was revised to 154 billion rand. By 2019, the cost of Medupi was independently estimated at 234 billion rand. Some of the primary reasons for the cost escalation was the importing of components affected by a fluctuating rand exchange rate, redesigns and rework, as well as labor disputes and standing time. Due to cost escalations, the African Development Bank has stated that they do not expect the power plant to produce a positive financial return over the course of its lifetime. Number 15. Tutuka Power Station. Tutuka Power Station in Mpumalanga, South Africa, is a coal-fired power plant operated by Eskom. It is a twin sister to Duva Power Station. History. The first unit at Tutuka was commissioned in June 1985, and the last went online in June 1990. Power generation. The station has 609 megawatts units, with a total installed capacity of 3,654 megawatts, with turbine maximum continuous rating at 38.0%. Tutuka is an important link in the 765 kV extra high voltage transmission system linking Mpumalanga with the Western Cape and KwaZulu-Natal. Crime and corruption. In 2020, the installation of a substandard submerged scraper chain at Unit 5 of Tutuka was thwarted. These items were the cause of many breakdowns at Tutuka. The investigation that followed uncovered widespread and costly corruption which exploited lax equipment ordering and warehousing. In November 2021, 2 persons employed by the station and a supplier of goods and services were arrested. They were charged with theft, fraud, and corruption in connection with the disappearance of spares. It was further alleged that 4 persons operated an oil crime syndicate which had been stealing large amounts of fuel from the station, valued at hundreds of millions of rand. Mid-December 2022, at the request of the Minister of Public Enterprises, Pravin Gordhan, and President Cyril Ramaphosa, Minister of Defense Thandi Modis deployed a small contingent of SANDF troops at the station, besides at Camden, Majuba, and Grootfontein, to curb a growing threat of sabotage, theft, vandalism, and corruption. Eskom also has the following additional power plants: 4 open-cycle gas turbine, 1 Acacia Power Station, located in Edgemead, Cape Town, with installed capacity of 171 megawatts, 2 Anchorleg Power Station, located in Atlantis, Western Cape, with installed capacity of 1327 megawatts, 3 Garikwa Power Station, located in Mossel Bay, Western Cape, with installed capacity of 740 megawatts, 4 Port Rex Power Station, located in East London, Eastern Cape, with installed capacity of 171 megawatts, 2 natural gas plants, 1 Richards Bay Gas Power Plant, located in Richards Bay Industrial Area, with installed capacity of 3,000 megawatts. The plant will be commissioned in 2028. 2 car power ships located in Kawega Harbour, Eastern Cape, Richards Bay Ourbor also in Eastern Cape, and Saldonia Bay Harbour, Western Cape. All car power ships has a combined capacity of 1220 megawatts. 3 pump storage plants. 1 Ingula Pump Storage is a pump storage power station in the escarpment of the Little Drakensberg Range straddling the border of the KwaZulu-Natal and Free State provinces, with a capacity of 1332 megawatts. 2. Drakensberg Pump Storage Scheme. The Drakensberg Pump Storage Scheme is an energy storage facility built in the South African provinces of Free State and KwaZulu-Natal, with a capacity of 1,000 megawatts. 3. Pomiat Pump Storage Scheme. The Pomiat Pump Storage Scheme consists of 2 200 megawatts, 270,000 horsepower, turbine units located 2 kilometers, 1.2 miles, upstream of the Kogelberg Dam on the Pomiat River near Cape Town, South Africa. 5 Hydroelectricity. 1 The Gariet Power Station is a 360 megawatts hydroelectric power plant located on the Orange River in the Northern Cape province of South Africa, operating as part of the Orange River Water Scheme and owned by Eskom. 2. Vanderkloof Power Station. The underground machine hall houses two 120 megawatts turbine generators, each consisting of a medium-head vertical Francis water turbine, directly coupled to an umbrella-type generator. The water to drive the turbine is conveyed from the dam through 7 m diameter steel-lined penstocks to the turbine's spiral casing. 3. Collywobbles Power Station. The Collywobbles Power Station is a hydroelectric power facility located approximately 30 kilometers east of Duduwa in the Amathole District municipality of the Eastern Cape of South Africa. Water is drawn from behind a dam on the Mpash River and diverted through a penstock to the Collywobbles Power Station. The power station discharges into the Mpash River. The powerhouse houses 3 Boving Francis turbines, each driving a 14 megawatts, 11 kV synchronous generator to give a total station output of 42 megawatts. 5. The power station has provision for the installation of a future 4th machine. Second Falls is a run-of-river hydroelectric power station on the Mthatha River, commissioned in 1979 with two 5 megawatts units, located downstream of First Falls. First Falls is a run-of-river hydroelectric power station on the Mthatha River, commissioned in 1979 with two 3 megawatts units and is located in the Eastern Cape, South Africa. 1 Nuclear plant. The 2 reactors at Coburg are, as of 2017, the only commercial nuclear power plants on the African continent and account for around 5% of South Africa's electricity production. Low and intermediate waste is disposed of at Volput's radioactive waste disposal facility in the Northern Cape. Each reactor delivers 970 megawatts gross and is capable of delivering 930 megawatts net to the grid. 2 wind power plants. Darling Wind Farm. Darling Wind Farm was one of the first 3 wind farms in South Africa. It is located 70 kilometers, 43 miles, north of Cape Town, between Darling and Eiserfontein on the west coast of South Africa. The plant consists of 4 Furlander FL 1250 horizontal axis wind turbines, with a total installed capacity of 2 megawatts and reached commercial operation on May 1, 2008. Seer Wind Farm. Seer Wind Farm is a wind farm in the Western Cape province of South Africa that is one of the largest wind farms in Southern Africa with a production capacity of 100 megawatts. And that is the story of Eskom power stations.